If you didn't get those buys, the more a factor that becomes. So here we go, the top overall seed, South Carolina. Kentucky, the 9 seed, and the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament are underway.
And you see Kentucky starting out in a man-to-man defense. And yes, Dawn Staley said they want to attack Clara Strack, see if they can pick up some early fouls on her. You see Joyce Edwards go right at her.
Here's Morgan. Played 39 minutes in yesterday's win over Georgia. Kentucky disposed of Arkansas and then outlasted Georgia yesterday. Nice poke away by Raven Johnson. Talked about Kenny Brooks, Dawn Staley, 9 SEC tournament titles in her 18th season now at South Carolina. This is a program that had just 3 wins at this tournament between 1992 and 2008 before Dawn took over. They have 34 wins and 9 titles since as Kentucky.
Good, even if there's action around her, just the direct drives to the basket.
Latson can't hit the jumper. Rebound secured by Key. And a foul as Boone went up.
South Carolina only had 5 fast break points in that game. They are always better when they're able to play faster.
Boone misses. This is what you're talking about, partner. Just way off their average when it comes to points in transition. A really tight battle on Sunday. 4-point game that South Carolina won. Raven Johnson kicking it out. Tessa Johnson has been cold since her performance against LSU. Edwards can't finish, but a foul on Key. And Joyce Edwards is going to shoot 2.
That time she gets Key to foul her.
One of the things Dawn Staley has focused on with us throughout the season in the country entering this matchup, and she said one of the things that she's proud of with Joyce is even though the offensive production still hasn't been great in those games, she has defended unbelievably well. Morgan up under and off, got rejected by the rim, and here comes Johnson, pushing it ahead. Edwards in transition, serves it home.
You see the nice corral and finish.
She has the first 3 South Carolina points after being held to a season-low 9 against Kentucky on Sunday. Here's Boone, sidestepping southpaw, can't get it to go. Okot had a little trouble with the handle, gets it into the arms of her trusted senior Raven Johnson. Latson draws 2. Leading scorer in the nation last year. Good find to Okot for the finish.
Terrific cut by Okot.
The crowd here in Greenville, no surprise. Tons of South Carolina fans have made the short trip. Johnson off the interception. Tessa Johnson misses the layup. Latson won a save, and it will stay with South Carolina. Terrific effort play by Ta'Niya Latson. You used that before? That was very catchy.
I don't think so.
Raven Johnson gets that one to spin in. Raven Johnson, a career year in production. That high arcing jumper way off for Morgan. Here's Edwards in transition. Latson couldn't handle it, but at last hits Morgan.
Clearly a point of emphasis to push the pace, to push the ball down the floor. The game that they played on Sunday against Kentucky did not have that same feeling of urgency when it came to their pace.
Now, Dawn Staley saying they really slowed us down, talking about what Kentucky did well against South Carolina on Sunday. Here's Latson. Stood up. Lobs it in. Edwards off to a fast start in the SEC quarterfinals.
Their legs are going to go at some point in this game, and she wants to make sure they're running the court and putting pressure on their defense.
I also love the texture of her Louis Vuitton hoodie. Terrific. As Hassett buries the 3. Nice play in the SEC tournament. Has shot it very well from 3. Hassett and Boone both big-time threats from 3.
Aggressive going to the rim.
Second team All-SEC for the junior Johnson. Jordan O being off the bench, can't finish. Okot pushing pace. Here's Maddie McDaniel, Euroing and laying.
Ryan, what you've seen to South Carolina is defensively, even in the quarter court, you see their legs and how they're able to really get out and pressure in a way that Kentucky can't because of their 3rd in 3 days.
Strack buries the long 2. Strack hit 5 threes yesterday in the win against Georgia at 33 points. Raven Johnson missed that one. Rebound ends up with Hassett. Strack became the first SEC player with 4 more threes in a game at 6'5" or taller this century. As Obi loses it. Johnson trying to win the race. McDaniel gets fouled. And Maddie McDaniel's going to shoot 2.
Not only has she responded and raised her level, but the team has seen her do that, and they have responded and raised their level of play. He said, I felt like I could push her that way because she's a best friend of my daughter. She's at our house constantly. She had 2 of the best workouts of her career, and he said, that is what you do to superstars. You push them. And Clara herself said, I love that he did that. He sees something special in me, and he's trying to bring that out.
Well, it has come out over these last few games. So impressive. Thank you, Howell. Here's Morgan flinging to the corner. Good look for Boone. She buries it from 3.
They're going to need to get some of those good looks. Kentucky is. And Obi set a terrific.
Dawn Staley anticipated that as well. McDaniel, no, on a 3. She said she expects them to play a lot of zone, that she didn't think they'd be able to hang with her team man-to-man for a 40-minute game after having played back-to-back days entering this one. Key, good twist inside and finish. Tiani Key, very impressive. 6'5" big, has been a huge part of Kentucky's success. When they struggled in the middle of the SEC season, it correlated with Key going out missing 6 games. Raven Johnson drains the 3.
Now that Kentucky is in that zone, important for Raven Johnson to step into that one as confidently as she did.
Morgan got fouled and will shoot 2. Tessa Johnson picking up her first personal. One of the things that Kenny Brooks was talking to us about with Tony Morgan is, you know, he had said, and he said, I think it was one of my better lines. And he said it like that. I said, don't try and fill Georgia's shoes. Bring your own shoes when she was coming here. And he said, what's great is, he said, look, I had such a relationship with Georgia, and she's such a great point guard. Of course, I'm going to reference her a lot. But he said, I love that Tony's been receptive to those references, to that perspective. He said a lot of great players coming here with their own success could want to shrug that off or be offended by that. He said, no, when I've referred to her in different things, Tony's been great, and we've really been on the same page in a hurry. Dawn Staley just glowed, talking about how proud she is of Raven, her perseverance, her season. Key doesn't get the roll. Rebound bounces around. Strack has it on the interior, fades away, and drops it in. 1:10 to go in this first quarter. McDaniel cuts to the D, hooks it up and off. Offensive rebound. Okot gets fouled by Strack. So the foul goes against Carroll. Strack had come down on the arm of Okot. And obviously, Kentucky needs to keep Strack out of foul trouble. Their best player, they want to keep her on the floor. 20-16, South Carolina leads it under a minute to go in this first. Here's Key. McDaniels had some nice moments in this first quarter. Edwards running the floor and reversing it in. Strack fading, taking short. Okot the rebound, and South Carolina can hold for a final shot.
That was excellent defense.
The shot clock turned off. McDaniel dances in, can't finish, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Both teams shoot it pretty well. South Carolina, a 6-point lead after one. Now you see no one else even with 2 over that time.
I mean, just the way South Carolina has dominated the conference and dominated in a lot of ways this tournament. Their fans have certainly dominated the arena the past 2 years when you and I have been here.
Boone can't hit the 3. Here's Edwards again running out and able to draw the foul.
So even if she's not rewarded with the pass and doesn't get an opportunity to score.
That foul, the first on Tony Morgan. Meanwhile, how about Edwards already has matched her point total from Sunday. Here's Morgan entering, dishing. Strack gets space. Can't hit that three. Key, the offensive rebound. Put it down. Did not have the space to do that. Easy steal for Edwards. McKeer on the drive. The dish. Okot lays it in.
This defensive possession, just keep your eyes on Joyce Edwards. The last possession, she fought Clara Strack, didn't let her get the basketball, helped off on dribble penetration. One area of her game that's really grown this season in a South Carolina uniform.
Another Kentucky turnover, their 7th. Okot given space, connects! She has become a big-time threat from 3. Now 8 for her last 11 from downtown. All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. And I think Coach Neighbors is saying exactly what you were just telling me in the break, Rebecca, just how impressive South Carolina's defense has been.
And now we see for the first time this game, they're in a zone, and you see their length. I love it when they have their hands up. Look at the space South Carolina is taking up with their length right now in this zone.
Hassett, a 3 is good. Amelia Hassett. Officials out on the floor pine for the deep Kantner head nod as Edwards can't finish it, and over the back from Tornabees.
I believe that's what the official called, but that's one of the things you've got to love when everybody goes over the back. Well, sometimes they are literally over the back because they're much taller and they're just tipping it out.
Right, you're looking for contact, not just reaching over.
A foul equals illegal contact.
Strack twisting, banks it in. Thank you, D. Edwards, no. Tornabees got fouled. Well, Tornabees, you know what she could do? She could do this. Out in transition, throwing it down. The first French woman to dunk in a game. Alicia Tornabees, who misses the second free throw, throwing it down easily in transition there.
Her upside is so exciting. She has great stroke out to 3 as well.
Boone, short. Raven Johnson zipping up the floor. Spinning, dishing, Tessa connects!
Tessa Johnson had a clean look because Raven Johnson probed, got 2 feet in the paint, and then delivered the pass perfectly.
Obi a 3, won't go. Edwards the rebound. Been a really dynamic opening half from Joyce Edwards. Both ends of the floor. Tessa leaning and can't get it to go, but was fouled. Tessa Johnson will shoot 2. 21 points, 4 of 5 shooting. The who can guard Tessa Johnson, Kim Mulkey viral clip. And since then, shooting. Her mechanics have been a little sped up, according to Dawn, but
confidence.
And that's what she just did. She said, even if you don't make the layup, don't worry about that. Get yourself to the line. Another Kentucky turnover. Their 10th.
Edwards just did a really nice job getting around Strack to steal that basketball.
4 minutes to go in this first half. Johnson off to McDaniel. Back to Tessa. Her 3. You bet!
Tough look from Tessa Johnson.
Largest lead of the day for South Carolina on a 9-0 run here. The cushion is 17. Key off to Morgan. No. Rebound deflected to McDaniel with haste. Johnson going to drive it this time.
Guard Tessa, but something maybe in that family.
I think that's the universal symbol for it. 10 points in the quarter for Tessa Johnson. Morgan, no on a jumper, but the follow is good as Obi lays it in. 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Tessa Johnson into the paint. Tried to get a foul, instead got blocked, but Dowda is there for the follow.
And they moved the basketball. You heard Coach Neighbors talk about it in the halftime pop. South Carolina's taking all of that away.
He buries the jumper. Yanni Key, who's a senior, has a lot to like about a potential development project in the pros. As Okot banks it in. Raven Johnson pressuring Morgan. 7 seconds left in the half. Morgan, sidestepping jumper is good for Morgan, and that will do it in the first half. South Carolina
Wasn't just making threes, it was attacking the rim. She got to the free throw line. She was really good and confident those first 20 minutes.
contested 24 of 27 Kentucky field goal attempts, and South Carolina shot so well off their passes. Longest deficit at halftime for Kentucky in a couple of years. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Catching up with Kenny Brooks for Kentucky at the half. He said, listen, Joyce Edwards is doing a great job on Clara, but so is their whole team. She is the focus for them. So that means other players are open, and they've got to cut and dive, and they have got to be more active. And then when I addressed the 10 first half turnovers, he said, Holly, honestly, we're tired. We're doing stuff out there that is very out of character for us. I've told the team we've just got to stay together and try to get better
here at the SEC tournament, and obviously wanting to win it. It's an interesting time for them when you look at their NCAA tournament positioning, because as of now, according to Charlie Creme, he has them in the top 16 after yesterday's win, and thus hosting. 4 assists now for Latson. Edwards has 13 points after she had a season-low 9 on Sunday against Kentucky. Key, no.
Interesting, though. First 3 possessions of the half, and Kentucky has gone to Key.
Johnson again. (7-0) South Carolina run, and Johnson is locked in here in Greenville. 15 points. She's 3 of 4 from 3. Strack, nice move to finish.
Clara Strack's really good when she can face up like she did and sort of assess where the defense is.
Edwards, push shot is good.
And it moved Strack out of the way. Okay to get the foul called. She knew she was in trouble.
Boone, oh, nice look. And Obi lays it in. Okot, already a double-double today. Nice footwork, couldn't quite flip it in. 10 points, 12 rebounds from Madina Okot. Morgan, a little too much on it. Edwards comes up with a steal. Edwards to the rim. (11 on the day. And make it 12.
Joyce Edwards at 6'2", such great instincts, and here is just mishandled basketball. She gets it, and she is incredibly comfortable pushing pace.
Okot on a nice delivery from Johnson. Timeout, Kentucky. South Carolina pouring it on. Oklahoma taking on LSU, the 4-5 matchup in this SEC tournament. As Okot comes up with a steal. That is the 13th Kentucky turnover, and now Latson fouled, and she will go to the line. The freshman star. Meanwhile,
the turnovers. Kentucky fatigue, but also a huge part of it is South Carolina defense.
Yeah.
They do this to a lot of teams. That last possession, Kentucky trying to run some elbow action.
Morgan. 3 to shoot, gives it up. Key, a 3 is good. Such a sweet-looking stroke. Rashida and Holly. As McKeer can't hit the 3.
One of my favorite things about this time of year is when we get a chance to see some of the parents as they're watching their children.
Really cool. Strack buries the 3. 3:45 to go in this third. South Carolina with a 20-point lead. Winner will face the winner of LSU Oklahoma. That game is next here on ESPN. 4 quarterfinal games today from Greenville. McDaniel.
In terms of her assist to turnover, the spark she can bring in off the bench, she's just a little bit different from the other guards.
Carroll can't hit the 3. Morgan peering inside. Morgan accelerates and lays it in. Plus the foul. Nice move there from Tony Morgan. There's Morgan. This is the free throw.
And there's some really good defenders in the SEC.
Edwards got fouled on the floor on the delivery from Johnson.
Even though she has success, that famous moment where Caitlin Clark waves her off because she's not a good enough shooter, well, she fights back and she works even harder. And all through these ups and downs and roller coasters of her career.
It's not young being a young woman in the social media era on a highly visible team. Meanwhile, Oklahoma and LSU both locked in. And the right decision for her to come back for the additional season at South Carolina.
She's worked herself into being a pro, for sure.
Obi fading and draining. McKeer finds Edwards. Edwards leaves a little short. Carroll the rebound. Look at a push. Here's Boone. Asia Boone gets it to Carroll in the corner. Gilvin off to Key. Key swivels it up, couldn't finish it. Edwards knocks it away. Raven Johnson leading Edwards. What a beautiful dish and finish. Edwards with 21 points. No on the three from Carroll. Edwards with 12 in the quarter for South Carolina. Here's Edwards. Finding Dowder. Her three is good. It's all going right for the Gamecocks. Key gets fouled by Dowder. Gianni Key will shoot two.
How about South Carolina sprinting towards the semifinals? Watch this. It's like four players in a lane in a race. Joyce Edwards beats them all down the floor. Perfectly placed pass by Raven Johnson. Best illustration of the track meet.
Wow, has it been a different story today? 16 of her 21 in the paint. Today, I think, is the best we've ever seen her. And we've seen her play incredibly well.
And it's not just about her efficiency on the offensive end of the floor. It's her relentless way she's run the floor. It's how she's defended both her player and on the help side.
Johnson gives it up, turns it over. That'll do it for the third. South Carolina increases the lead. A 23-point edge headed to the fourth, looking to punch their ticket to the semifinals. Spread out the talent is, how formidable the opponents are in this conference. All top five teams lost games, and all but South Carolina lost multiple games.
I mean, it's ridiculous that this game we're watching is a quarterfinal game. That LSU and Oklahoma is a quarterfinal game.
Right.
The high level of talent in this conference has made this tournament very fun.
Yeah, for most conferences, that would be a semi or a championship.
Plus, I just, even with my kids when they were little, I like playing with the blocks.
Latson lays it in, plus the foul.
The memorial service and the processional for a Greenville, South Carolina native, Dr. Jesse Jackson, who was obviously one of the great civil rights activists and leaders in our country.
Here comes Morgan, cradling, dishing, Hassett. She got it on a three. Latson into the paint, gives it up. McDaniel burrows and gets fouled, and Maddie McDaniel grabbing at her thumb. She is giving them some excellent minutes here in the quarterfinals. Hey, coming up, and interviews with coaches and players. A reminder that following this one, it'll be LSU and Oklahoma. The championship of the SEC tournament will be Sunday, 3 Eastern on ESPN. Hassett again buries a three. Her fourth on 4 attempts, and Kenny Brooks will take a timeout. You see how there was virtually no success at the SEC tournament before Dawn Staley took over the Gamecocks, and since 34 wins in this tournament and 9 titles, including the last 3. And a little more added to the cushion for South Carolina.
What a nice take by McKeer, just driving the right baseline and then finishing on the other side of the rim.
Boone buries the three. I want to say this for Kentucky, too, Rebecca. You know, today, not their best showing. Talking with Kenny Brooks before the game, you got a sense he knew it was going to be tough for them today, given how tired they are off 2 games over the last 2 days and having played Sunday against this South Carolina team. But they're an interesting, talented, dangerous team that can shoot the basketball come tournament time.
Yeah, certainly. They've got Strack inside and Key as well, who can just own the paint at times, surrounded by shooters. It hasn't been easy for them today because of South Carolina's defense, but they are a talented crew who could have a lot of success come NCAA tournament.
And Kenny was talking about, I say, remember, we were off to a great start. Then they lost Tiani Key for 6 games, kind of faltered there. Then they had an incredibly difficult schedule when she got back. But they realized, oh no, this is a player who can really facilitate playmate. She's made 4 or 5 passes today that make you go, wow.
And much improved this season on the defensive end of the floor as well. The way she can navigate on-ball screening action defensively.
Here's McDaniel giving it up. McKeer lurching in and laying it home. Morgan dipping into the paint, will lay it in.
Morgan's had success doing that all season long against most opponents. Just her quickness off the drive, finishing whether she's going right or left.
Tornabees, the turnaround. Off the mark.
The turnaround.
Yeah, you know what? That really would have been the way to do it. You want to take a couple of possessions of play-by-play?
No, just save it for a future game.
Yeah. Hassett, another for Hassett. 5 for 5 from 3 for Amelia Hassett. Her career high is 6.
She had 6 in the first round of the SEC tournament.
As Latson able to finish plus the foul. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, you were talking about this a little earlier about Ta'Niya Latson coming to South Carolina to show pros that she had a complete game. And I just want to remind people, she has led the nation in scoring.
Looking for help, finds it in Boone. Sidestepping 3 is good for Asia Boone, as that gets the deficit under 20 nicely, knowing if they have it their way, we'll have 2 more games, one tomorrow and one Sunday. Gilman in transition, Euros, can't drop it in. The get ahead, Latson waits and gets fouled.
This is noon on a Friday, on a work day, and this place is packed. These fans show up, and they are, once again, the nation's leaders.
It is amazing, Holly. You know, no matter where South Carolina plays, they always have a massive following in the building.
South Carolina had not in this tournament, but man, they were ready from the jump.
And if you think about the premier powers in women's college basketball, that is a hallmark, that they're playing their best basketball this time of year. We see it with Dawn and Gino every single year with South Carolina and UConn. It feels like they're always ascending heading into March. Latson gets it in. Tornabees gets fouled.
And the players, even in late game, like, all right, I'm going to get mine now. We have not seen that at all with Latson.
You see it a lot on the Connecticut high school men's basketball circuit, though, don't you? And a whistle against South Carolina with 7.1 to go. Because you play till the final whistle, right, D. Cantner? You ref till the final whistle.
Say, or you whistle till the final play.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All the way to the end for everyone.
For everyone?
Everyone.
Joyce Edwards checks in.
Just what we could have done without the whistle.
And that will do it. South Carolina with a dominant quarterfinal win over Kentucky. 87-64 the final.